Decking.
With rates going up, kind of tell me about the renovation loans and why that's something folks really should consider right now in this market.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, especially for purchase, I think renovation makes a ton of sense because with rates going up, maybe you were pre-approved and you were looking at move-in ready homes, but now with the rates going up, you don't qualify for quite that same price range.
Okay.
And we know the market is starting to soften a little, but it's not come down as far as you would need it to, right? And so what a renovation loan does is it can open up your options. You can use a renovation loan to buy a house that maybe needs a little bit of work or is just really outdated and use that renovation loan to buy it, to renovate it. And so at that point, you're not paying top dollar for someone else's renovation. Now you're customizing that home to your likes, your family's needs, and you're building equity and wealth for yourself, right? So, I mean, we've been in the business long enough. We know rates go up and down.
Right.
You can always refinance your rate later. You can never change how much you paid for your house. So renovation loans are a great way to put yourself in a good position where you're building equity and wealth for yourself for the future, getting a custom home at the same time.
No, I think what you just said is absolutely amazing, right? Is rates go up and down, but you can never change what you paid for your house. So, man, that's good. That's I might put that on a bumper sticker. That's good stuff. Bringing today. So, but let's stick with purchases right now because you know when you see the news, everybody's like this, that, and one of the things we always talk about on Mortgage Gumbo is we're data driven. We're not headline driven. Right, so the fact is, as much as they want to say rates are higher, we haven't seen those gigantic, especially here in the South. We haven't seen these big price drops, and I'm not sure because of the lack of inventory, you're going to see that. Plus, when you've got all these mortgage holders at certain rates, that so when we're looking at that, what are sort of the homes that qualify? So does it have to be just a single family resident? Can somebody who out there doesn't in their right mind, especially the younger generation, want to think, hey, I'm going to be a mogul, right? So do multifamily kind of tell us what type of dwellings or what type of properties qualify for this incredible program?
So this program is great for anywhere between 1 to 4 units.
Okay.
And I'm a huge believer in the multifamilies. Our first house was a 4-family, and then we bought a 2-family. It's another great way to build wealth and equity for yourself. And this is a great program to use for a multifamily, especially if you're a first-time buyer out there looking to get into a property like that. You can take care of the big ticket items right away. So as a landlord, you want your investment to work for you right away. You don't want to have to worry about replacing the roof for $25,000 in a year. I know a lot of folks out there buying right now have just saved enough for down payment and closing costs.
Right.
So we don't want you to worry about that future upgrade either, right? We want you to stay as liquid as you can and make your investment work for you. So one of the big things we see all the time is people using this to buy multifamilies and upgrade the roof, the heating system, the insulation, upgrade the units. So you want to also get top dollar from your tenants and really well-qualified tenants. So you can also do cosmetics. So it doesn't have to be in disrepair. It could just be an outdated kitchen and you want to upgrade it. You can do things like that as well. We see also some really creative things on the multifamilies, especially in Louisiana. So we've got one going in New Orleans right now where it was at one point a 3-family house. Then somebody had changed it to a 2-family. And someone is using our renovation loan to change it back to a 3-family so that they can get those extra rents from the 2 upstairs units. And so you can get creative with it. And the great thing is that this is all a 30-year fixed mortgage with still a low 3.5% down payment off of the total cost to purchase and renovate. So not only are you wrapping this all into the financing at an affordable monthly payment, but your down payment isn't higher either. So this is a great fit for a multifamily, especially in your area, Dwayne.
Yeah, no, that is fantastic. And what I want folks to understand, and I want to make sure that I'm clear on, and we're going to get into so much more of this is, when people are going to go, well, hey, how do you do that? The beauty of what you bring is you bring the crystal ball. You bring future value into this, right? I mean, that's what people have to understand. Like, you get to look in, everybody wants to look into the future. You get to look into the future because with this program, you're getting to go, okay, hey, we're going to give you based on what you're doing, what the future value of the home is going to be after all the improvements, correct?
Yep, absolutely. So in the first 3 weeks of the process is when someone's typically nailing down who's doing the work, what are they doing, how much is it going to cost.
Yep.
And so once we have that information in, we send all of that to an appraiser, and we ask the appraiser to tell us if all this work was done, what would the house be worth? And so before closing that the renovations you're making and the repairs you're putting into the house are paying off for you.
What other things are you seeing? Because, I mean, you're national. What other things are you seeing being done? We don't need heated grass down here, that's for sure, right? But like, what are some other renovations that you see that maybe a better question would be that are just bring in the most return on dollars?
Yeah. I would say over the last 3 years, everybody's been cooped up in their homes, right?
Yeah.
And so the most popular renovations we've seen recently have been to add extra square footage to the house.
Okay.
Whether that's adding a second story, building an addition, finishing a basement or an attic, or putting an accessory dwelling unit on the property. Accessory dwelling units are definitely the biggest thing to come out of the last few years, whether it's an attached or detached separate unit that you can rent or have for family. Those projects are generally, when you're adding square footage, it's going to bring you somewhere between 75 to 85% value.
Wow.
We also see a lot of outdoor projects too, because people do want to make the most of their living space inside and out. So lots of pools being installed, lots of covered seating outside, lots of just ways to increase that living area and make it more usable for the family. But as far as top return on investment renovations, the top one of 2022 has definitely been hardwood flooring. You cannot go wrong with either refinishing or putting in a new hardwood floor. That's going to get you between 120 to 147% return on investment, according to the National Association of Realtors.
Wow. So hardwood floors are making a comeback, I guess, right? Because for a while we got away from that, and they're back now. Wow.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that has to kind of do with the whole trend of during COVID, everybody was just trying to keep their homes as clean as possible.
Right.
So people wanted more space and wanted things to be fresh and clean.
Mm-hmm.
And hardwood floors definitely give that to you.
Yep.
Insulation upgrades, surprisingly, that's also 100% return on investment and a great investment for yourself in your house, because that's also going to help you with heating and cooling bills. And then new windows and a kitchen remodel, that's going to get you between 70 to 75% return on investment.
Wow.
So those are the biggest ones for return on investment, and we definitely saw a lot of that in the last few years.
So, Victoria, got a question here. Got a bunch of just great comments and things like that. So you rock, which we know that. But the question that came over is, on a renovation loan, Dwayne, is this the same as doing a cash-out refinance or a home equity line of credit? I know the answer, but I would like for you to let's clear that up, because if that's a question we got coming over, that's something I want you to kind of help me out with there.
Yeah, that's a great question. And a cash-out refinance and a home equity line of credit could be the best solution for you, and that's something we'll always look at.
Right.
But the benefit to a renovation loan is that we're lending against the future value of your house. And so if you're going to get a cash-out refinance or a home equity line of credit, not only is your loan to value, the max that you can borrow, limited, it's going to be, what is it, Dwayne, closer to 80, 85%?
80%. 80% right now.
80%. So 80% of your home's current value. On a renovation refinance, we know all the money you're taking out is going right back into the house. So we consider that less risky, and we're going to know what that future value of your house is. So we've got more flexibility, and we'll lend on a conventional renovation up to 95% of the future value of your house, or on a 203K renovation loan, we'll lend up to 97.75% of 110% of the future value. So we know that money's going back in. We know that money is adding value to your house. We've got more flexibility to help you get done what you want to and need to get done in your home now.
Can they be self-contracted, or are we going to leave it to the professionals? Kind of give me an idea there, because everybody, especially down here in the Gulf South, I could tell you, Victoria, storm comes through, trees fall down. If I got a hard hat, a truck, and a chainsaw, I'm a tree dude, right? So how do we protect people from that? Can they self-do it, or kind of tell me what the rules are there?
Yeah, so when you do need to use a contractor for the project. Now, when it comes to who you're using, if you yourself are a contractor or have a family member that's a contractor, we have a few different programs that might allow that. We look at it on a case-by-case basis.
Okay.
So we do have options there. But in general, we're looking to see that the contractor is licensed if the state requires it, is carrying insurance, has been in business for at least 2 years. So we want to see they've had insurance for a couple of years, or that they've got references we can reach back out to, and that they've done similar sized projects in the last year. So we have them fill out some paperwork to confirm that information for us. For example, someone who is just a handyman doing $5,000 projects and that's all their references, they probably wouldn't get validated to do a $100,000 addition.
Right.
Right. So those are the kinds of things that we look at. But we do have options. I know some lenders are really strict and say no self-help no matter what. If you're a contractor, if you have a family member that's a contractor and they meet those requirements, we want to find a way to work with you and help you get done what you need to get done.
Let's go back to, real quick, you talked about the conventional renovation, because a lot of people have heard of a 203K, right? They've heard of that. And let's talk a little bit more about the conventional renovations and what those maybe allow that 203K doesn't allow.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of our huge advantages here at Cross Country Mortgage, and we're so lucky to have the company really behind this program in every way. Most lenders just have 203K, and
right.
In that 203K limited, which is a really small aspect of what the total scope of programs can do. So we do have 203K, and that's a great program, but we also have Fannie Mae Home Style, Freddie Choice. We've got USDA renovation and VA renovation as well. And because we have more programs, we've got more options. And so that just means that when somebody does come to you looking for a pre-approval, not only are we looking at their credit profile for the best program, but also their project for the best program. And so conventional renovation gives us that extra flexibility where you can put in an in-ground pool or build an accessory dwelling unit that's detached from the house.
2 minutes.
So that's the big extra flexibility when it comes to conventional. There's even an option with Fannie Mae Home Style to finish a new construction property as long as it's 90% of the way there. So having that group of products, having a suite of 5 renovation loans, it really means we're able to help your customer find exactly the best fit for them.
What's great about what you do and what I love about, just all the great programs and the leaders of the programs that we've got, like you and Susan with Reverse, and you're always looking for ways to say yes. It's never, no, and that's it. It's like you talked about. We don't get caught in the trap of, all right, hey, if Uncle Joe is a contractor and he's not just a guy that puts in bathroom tile and he could show some other things, we'll look at that. So thank you so much. I appreciate it. Go enjoy the rest of your day. We'll be talking next week, Victoria. I appreciate you really taking some time out. Thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you, Dwayne.
All right. Victoria Dowling, Senior Vice President of Renovation Lending. That's what Mortgage Gumbo does. And my phone and emails are blowing up. Let's talk about them.